Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the analysis skills you guys need to achieve your goals. I feel as though too many of you are sleepwalking and not realizing the problems you have in your day-to-day life. Let's go through a few things that may help you out. You guys need to learn how to analyze people. I had a discussion with a family member once, and they insisted they don't need that much to be happy. They're in their 40s, they have an old cheap car, and they live in their parents' house. They claim they are very satisfied with what they have. I said, hey, as long as you're satisfied, that's all that matters. 30 minutes later, a news article came up on TV that mentioned rich people were going to be taxed more due to some tax law or whatever. They immediately chimed in and said, oh, I feel so bad for them. They shouldn't have that much money anyways. The cognitive dissonance struck me immediately. If you're truly happy with what you have, you wouldn't care that others have more. You guys have to be able to pick out these type of people immediately out of your life. They're typically a liability because they can't even figure out their own thoughts. Chances are they haven't spent any time contemplating how the world actually works. You guys have to be able to analyze other people's behavior and use it to understand more about them. Some of you might think it's crazy to see people this way, but people in general will always behave in line with their own interests. Life is about incentive and leverage. I'm not saying that people won't try to help others, but even then, they're still doing it for themselves. They act on their morals because it makes them feel good. A lot more people want to be heroes than you realize. This is why mutually beneficial relationships are the best type of relationships. Nobody loses. Being able to analyze people's incentives will massively help you understand their needs and motivations. The next analysis skill you guys need is the ability to research. Lots of my clients tell me they struggle with finding accurate information online. Using Google is a great start, but not everything you read is necessarily unbiased. These days, you can pretty much find an article that supports any view you might have. This is why it goes back to the idea of incentive I discussed earlier. What incentive does a person or organization have to give you some information? I typically think, what are they trying to sell me? Now you're probably thinking, what am I trying to sell you? I'm a personal stylist and coach, trying to motivate men and help them dress better. I believe in a mutual benefit, so if you need help with your life or your clothes, check the description after the video. Now let's get back to incentive. Anytime someone tries to give you information, it's typically for two reasons. The first reason is they want to prep you for a sale. I was in a variety of sales jobs, guys. Once you agree to a piece of information, that's the first step along the sales process. Agreeing to a fact like, did you know that gas prices are 60% carbon tax? Oh, I didn't know that, but I think I've heard that before. Great, we'll come to my gas station that charges 30 cents less, or something like that. I just made up that 60% number, by the way. But the point is to get in the door with you, build rapport, and then build trust. The second reason someone want to give you some information is to acquire more followers that have the same belief as they do. This happens all the time when people claim facts based on unknown studies because it confirms their bias. It's similar to an alcoholic wanting you to drink with them all the time. They want as many people on their bandwagon as possible because it makes them feel more secure in believing in it themselves. Be careful when you hear these things. At least with a salesman, you know what he wants: money. It's then your responsibility to figure out if what he's selling benefits you. The other type of person could have good or nefarious intentions, which could be hard to gauge initially. Now, how does this all relate to research? Let's think about it. When you're looking for objective truth, you must consider incentive to realize if you're being sold a lie. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're attempting to research, you go on Reddit, and you see some guy posting a long-winded essay and quoting studies. Chances are, their opinion is probably pretty good because the only thing they stand to gain is looking extremely smart or appealing to the correct audience. It's up to you to decide if it's true or not, but at least it gives you a paper trail. Always consider what purpose that information could serve. Deep research is always required to find truth. Also, be skeptical. Don't go looking for answers that support your beliefs. Consider other perspectives, even if it doesn't support your view. Nobody's going to spoon feed you answers, and nobody's going to give you their secrets to success. You need to figure it out on your own, which is why deep research is an analysis skill that is absolutely crucial to your success. The last analysis skill I want to discuss is self-analysis. Very few of you look at yourselves in a deep way and address your character flaws. Don't be okay with having opposing viewpoints at the same time. People of quality will see your garbage and generally try to avoid you. Having opposing viewpoints shows you have not spent any time analyzing your beliefs and applying them to reality. An example of a conflicting belief would be thinking you're not materialistic because you prefer to travel instead of buying things. The resources required for an airplane to exist and fly across the world cost much more than buying a car or wool clothes that come from sustainable resources. Clearly, that person has not spent time to iron out the realities of the world. If you genuinely want to live nihilistically because you've thought it through, fair enough. You also need to accept the consequences of not being around any high quality people. People with no purpose are useless outside of mere labor. People that genuinely want to improve spend many hours looking at themselves and figuring out what they're doing wrong. You don't want to be overly self-critical, but you need to be able to explain every action you take to yourself. If you actually try to do this, you will realize that most of the actions you take are not helping you reach your goals. 4 hours a day scrolling on social media won't help you. Self-analysis should also reveal to you what you can do to create, not consume. Successful people create much more than they consume. That was a long video, but I hope you learned something. Subscribe to my channel for more videos about self-improvement and fashion. I'll see you guys soon.